Okay, I guess I don't even have to wait that long. I don't have to do any social media, so that makes this quicker. Oh wait, I gotta prep like a stupid face. I can't. I'm not gonna show anything until I get a good stupid face. What's a good? Let's see if we can get him like. There we go. That's like I'm gonna do this one. There we go. That's okay. There we go. I got a good stupid face there.
Yay.
Oh yeah, go play music. Hello. There's probably nobody here.
Somebody's watching. Somebody joined.
It might be counting me.
It wasn't counting you a second ago.
Well, I thought I was important.
No. Yep.
Hello. You have arrived. Well, thank you for coming. This is so impromptu and random.
People, but it says
and Jinxie. Jeez.
Look, it says one viewer and there's two people. One of you's lying. You're not really here.
One of you's a changeling. No, sorry. This is very impromptu. Actually, we were just outside most of the day because one of our friends in town, and so our social distancing method was we went to hang out outside at a pub. And have some drinks, and we were in front of a fire pit, and so it was actually kind of fun. But very, very impromptu, so I can make up for Friday being out. Since the stream notification, there was like 20 minutes ago. How do you know it's actually 3 hours in a trench coat? I have good eyes.
Who?
I have super. Who? Hello, Nightmation.
The viewer count's confusing me now.
That is super delayed. All those numbers are super delayed. I'll be sitting here it'll say like 4, and there'll be like a whole bunch of people talking. I don't trust that number. Got your notifications to work? Well, I am not promoting this one on any social medias. No YouTube, no DeviantArt, no Twitter, because it's middle of Sunday. It's very impromptu. I don't like dropping that on people. So this might be a smaller group. That's fine.
I'm actually surprised that people show up. I was half expecting no one to show up, and then just be like, they're there. It's okay. People still like you.
Well, no. Well, okay. For anybody that's not in Discord, if you hit I'm streaming and then like 2 minutes later you're like, why is nobody here? People have freaking lives. I understand.
But in that moment, I would have been like,
most streams actually peak in viewership 2 hours after they start. So it's never that many people when it starts. But anyways, thank you. It is very impromptu. So mainly because I just wanted to get some work done on this. And I felt like if I was missing out on Friday, that's usually one of the bigger days. I'm not going to stream a full 3 hours, probably only going to go till 9. And the only reason I'm doing now is because I literally got home like 30 minutes ago. So this is just 40 minutes ago, but I had to call my parents. I'm just glad I got to a notification to work too. Well, that's good. Yeah, we both smell like wood, burning wood, because we got to the pub at like noon and figured out they actually didn't open till 1. So we went to got coffee, came back at 1, and it was outside. They have like tables with like basically a barrel in the middle, and they would come through with a blowtorch and wood, and they would light a fire for you. And so it was just a couple of us having a couple drinks, and we were there from 1 until 6. So 5 hours is having a couple drinks in front of a wood burning. So we all smell like burning wood. It's delicious smell. Well, thank you, Jurassic. Welcome. It's 7 months of tier 3. Jesus Christ. Yes, dolphin. You just want the dolphin. That's all you're here for. Well, thank you, Drills, too. We did have a lot of fun. That is, if you give me a couple drinks and a bonfire, or like just a fire to hang out at, that is I'm good. It is so, oh my god.
It only had marshmallows.
The embers that we had at the end of that were the fire wasn't even going. It was just the embers, and they were burning hot. That would have been perfect for marshmallows. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it was because our friend came back. He's on his leave from Basic, and it was fun. It was just a really fun hangout. I love that kind of stuff. I also didn't know you're doing a stream. I didn't know until like 30 minutes ago. So you're in the dark too. But thank you guys very, very much. So I do want to get a little bit of work done here, but I can't remember where I am on this stuff. What? Oh, I have to change the camera here. So basically, like, I haven't done any of the lighting outside of this shot. but that's fine. This was the test of concept. I wanted to get the idea as to what I was doing so that it would help me direct the rest of the things, because like depending on how I do the shot, it might affect how I want to do outshots, knowing how the light works. Shoot him broke. I can't subscribe. Don't worry about it. That's fine. I greatly appreciate the people that are able to support. I have a lot of there's Sir Mike. Yes. I do appreciate it. I have a lot of aspirations for things to do next year. And anybody that is a subscriber, probably in the next couple days, I'm writing the script for it, but I'm going to be putting out a couple videos to kind of do 2020 in review, show behind the scenes as to like my setup and some of the stuff, the hardware investments that I made this year because of the support from some of the people on Twitch and YouTube and Patreon. And then also to give my ideas to what I'm planning to do or want to try to do for 2021. I'm treating it like an investors meeting for stocks or something. So I feel like the people that are supporting are investing, and so I wanted to provide that information to them. So I do want to have that on a couple days. So anybody that is if you're on Discord, that's probably where, Discord, or if you're on Patreon, you'll see it there.
I want that, like the behind the scenes with you, where you're showing off all the equipment, all the prep before each stream you do. It's like, now, Mike, what do you do before you stream? Well, you see, in preparation for this stream, I ate 2 pork chops and drank some whiskey. The
preparation for stream is that I hit record and then you hear the ice maker go off for like welcome to this.
Welcome to the stream. I'm full of pork and booze.
Is that your Tinder profile?
Pork and booze. Like
but you put pork in parentheses. You're the highlight of my day, even though it's 8 a.m. here. Have a great Christmas. I hope you do too. That's the reason I call my parents. I just worked out how Christmas is going to work. We're going to be breaking things into groups so that our family's not all in one place at one time. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch and Prime accounts to get a free Prime sub. Yeah, actually, whenever I have Prime, there's like 2 or 3 people I tend to just toss it at for that time. I just don't always have. I don't have Amazon Prime that often. To me, the subscription services, I only get them when I need them. If I want to watch something specifically, I'll buy a month worth, or if I need Amazon Prime for something, I'll get a month of it. But other than that, I live right by a distribution center, so almost always, if I spend over $25 on Amazon for anything, I get free shipping anyway, and it almost always gets here in 2 to 3 days anyway. So Prime shipping is not really necessary for where I am. Let's see here. Being that we only have 2 hours, I really don't want to do lip syncing here. Oh, can we do Celestia? I kind of want to do Celestia. I don't know if I want to animate her at all with this. I just kind of want to have, if anything, I could probably just copy paste this where she just pops in and looks up. Or no, actually I'd do that in reverse. I might have her look up and then look back down. Anyways, let's do Celestia because it's a nice, easy one. Your streams helped me through 2020, even though it was a horrible year. It was. Everyone here in the stream helped me through 2020. I'm glad it's about to be over. Well, that's actually super cool. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm glad I could. 2020 was rough for me as well, and but it's been super beneficial. It's streaming has become an increased platform. Like for the streamers, like I'll be actually showing graphs. If you like graphs, that'll be on those videos too. But Twitch, at least as a platform in terms of viewership, because I started pushing from YouTube side, it's actually grown like 3 to 4 times what it was. We were averaging 6 to 7 people at the high end before. And it was because I used to have 50 way back. But I just never pushed it. It was just a casual medium, but I decided to actually start pushing. And now we're getting like averaging like 26 or 28. So it's definitely been cool. So if it helped you as much as it helped me, then that's a very mutual thing. So that's awesome. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna miss 2020.
You get out of here.
Because I could, in 2020, I could see in 2020. And I'll never be able to
I can't mute him yet.
Yeah. We haven't installed the mute
No,
button.
I think 2021 is still going to be rough. I think it's not going to be as much of a blind side as 2020 was, but it's still going to be rough. There's still a lot ahead. I still think 2021 is going to be a leftover of 2020 for a good half of the year. And there's still going to be a lot to go with it, but how good a year is up to you. Your mindset makes up a majority of it. My mindset at the beginning of all this was not good, and I decided to start turning that around into where I made something work with it. But there's definitely certain ideas, there's certain things for YouTube and stuff that I really want to do, but I legitimately can't because of the pandemic stuff. And so it's putting a pause on the direction I want to go, but that's fine. Instead, I'll do something else. So it's fine. And if it's entertainment for you guys, that's fine. Trixie's getting PTSD from the war. She's started the war. This is how war starts. And then through high school, you can have a teen account for adults. Yeah, actually, to me, 2020 is probably the worst for those in non-college. Like if you're in high school or whatever, I don't know the equivalent in Europe, but if you're in those type of schooling, that's got to be hard because high school and middle school and all those are your social years, and that's got to be hard to have that gone.
To socialize, not hide in a corner, because that's mostly what I did in high school.
No, trust me, I was a huge introvert in high school. I didn't want to. I did a lot of sciencey stuff, but I just kind of did my own thing. I had my small group of friends, and I didn't want to talk with anybody. I thought I was trying to like do my hair cool, but actually it was really, really stupid, and I don't know why the hell I did it. But I mean, not like standing out. I was just combing it nice, but to try to look better, I ended up looking exceedingly nerdy, and I didn't like it. But I was young. Where all you do stupid things when you're young.
It's a good thing you don't look nerdy now.
I'm socially challenged and thrive with my online school. Yeah, and actually that was the one thing, like when I was talking to my parents today, they're like, well, we just know that in terms of like the meeting with the family, they're like, well, we know that you're really good about sticking at home and not going out. I'm like, but that's a circumstance of personality. Like I'm not going out, or me not going out and not putting myself in those situations doesn't have to do with me not wanting to put myself at risk. It's that I just don't go out. Like the only time we did social things is like today when it's a small group. Thank you very much. What's social years are one of those most introverted in my school and just sticks with tech ed classes. I think to me, the introverts that are in school, in high school and get through high school tend to be the people that work out the best. It's the social normally the overly social people in high school, they're not stupid, but they're tryhards. It's like they're trying to be cool, but then when they get out into the real world, that's not how the real world works, and they don't know how to deal with it otherwise. I just don't like it. It's stupid. And thanks for the follow, Derek. I'm gonna be doing online school for the rest of high school. Really, that you're close to the end? Because yeah, that's got to be. Socially challenged and thrive online, but the school demanded I return. And now 3 people have COVID. Yeah, and don't think being socially challenged is a problem. It definitely creates difficulties for some things, but somebody that is socially adept has difficulties with other things. There's nothing wrong with being having difficulties in a social situation. A lot of times it's being thrown into situations that you have no control over, that are not social, that make up for the difference. For instance, some of the first panel I ever did for Pony, I was super nervous. And this room at the time was like, 20 people, maybe? And I was super nervous. I had a script, like a notes written down as to things to follow. And as with normal, any panel you do in any convention, tons of stuff went wrong. And I had no idea how to deal with any of it. All these AV issues and things didn't go to the ways that I wanted to. And I just started panicking at certain things. And it took me a while to just start backing up on that and taking a more relaxed approach on things. But things that I learned from that helped me deal with the antisocial nature on things outside of panels. After doing 15, 20 panels, started getting to the point of I just felt comfortable being in front of people, and hundreds even. And it took me a while to get to that, but now I feel so much better. And it's because of putting myself into those positions, forcing myself into those positions, that did it. So I had to make myself uncomfortable to feel comfortable. Not to say that made me social in any way. If you go and throw me in a crowded room with some people, I don't want to go and talk and be the life of the crowd. I like finding the couple people.
I'm not even in there.
That ice is your fault. Dude, there's ice in that cup. It melted a little bit, so it squeezed through. I don't like being life of the party stuff type things. I like, you find one or two people. I don't even care if I don't know them. I just find one or two people, and I like to have a personal conversation and interact on a smaller scale, because larger group, I just don't like doing that. You put some alcohol in me and I don't care as much, but yeah, ADHD sucks. Paranoid anxiety and depression. Got introverts, millennial. I will say that I probably have ADHD type stuff, but I do not have anxiety. That is the one thing that's nice. I have zero anxiety. I went through some other crap years ago, and that basically burned that out of me. Depression is, I have things where I go up and down. If you ever see me on social media and everything, and I just go dark for a couple days, it's usually that I kind of get into a mode that I just don't want to deal with anything in the outside world. And I just, that happens. I completely understand it, and I just let it happen. And then I'll work my way out of it. I had some autism in there, and you've got my personality. Everybody's different, and we all got to deal with things in our own way. It's I
was diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, dyslexia.
Were you diagnosed? Were you diagnosed with ADHD back when it was the buzzword?
Well, I was on Ritalin in grade school.
I don't. The thing is that was back. That was back when ADHD was just thrown at people.
Yeah.
And to me, ADHD is a product of it's a societal product, and it's telling people that because you don't learn the way that we want you to learn, that you're wrong, and you need drugs to put you back in line with everybody else. And I don't think that's the way. That's what the reason that to me one of my favorite Pony episode is testing 1, 2, 3, because that was showing somebody that essentially you could say had ADHD and wasn't learning because they couldn't pay attention. But it wasn't that they couldn't pay attention. It's just you weren't presenting the information to them in the way that they learn now. And society isn't changing and adapting to that person. And a lot of the school systems are not adapting in that regard. They're slowly getting there, but not fast enough when you have a culture that like every 10 years has such generational gaps. And so I have found the ways that I learn best. And I know now how to go out and learn the things that I need to learn those things. I am very much a show me it and I will learn it. I will absorb all of it and I will figure it out, instead of go and read a book on your own and then take notes, whatever. I just go and watch a tutorial and stuff, and I will remember frame by frame everything. That's why these streams exist. Because if somebody asks a question, the best way to teach them is the way that I want to be taught. So that's kind of how I go about it. Physically talking is so uncomfortable. Physically talking, like karate chops. I hate my life. No, you don't hate your life. Everybody's life is unique, and you should love your life. Life sucks for everybody, and you just have to find what the great things in your life that make you smile, and they'll make life worthwhile for anybody.
If it's ponies. I'm sorry if it is, but
you hate how you can't remember everything. See, I have this thing of I can remember a lot of things. I've figured, but it's because I've figured out how to forget and ignore the things that don't matter to me. If something is common sense, I just completely ignore it. I will stop listening. I zone completely out. But when I hit the tidbits come up that are things that in my brain I can realize are not something that I could natively know, then I will pay attention. Because if somebody tells me something and I can be like, yeah, I know that already. Well, then I don't have to remember it. I don't have to pay attention to them talking because I would have already known that. So I'm really good at just zoning completely out and focusing only on the important things instead of wasting all my brain power on things that I already know.
I have to tune out the bits.
You have a good memory, but super forgetful. That sounds so contradictory, but I completely understand what you're talking about. You're very good with building and math. Yeah. And that's, but in school, they're going to say like, well, you also need to be good at this, 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 and this. And because you're not good at those things, you have a learning disability. And I was told that I have a learning disability. When I was younger, I was told that I was going to be having difficulties learning and that I needed to have like a tutor or something. And this was because I went and they had a test. And they sat everybody down, or like the kids down, and they would ask them questions, and they had certain answers that would determine to be the correct answers. And I was asked, like, one of the questions of what do you do when you're cold? And so the answer, and the correct answer is get a coat. I said, brr. That was the wrong answer. So I have a wrong learning disability. I took their question literally. They were looking for the societal answer. I said, when I'm cold, I shiver. They said, no, you go and get a coat. It wasn't wrong. It just wasn't what they were looking for. And Gargle goes, brr.
Did I
no.
ever tell you what they, based on our skill sets in middle school, they had like job placements. They were telling us what our future careers would be. You know what my future career was?
It was like clerk at a gas station. Right?
Gas station attendant. Yeah. Mentioned that one before.
That to me, even if it's what your page is telling them, you don't tell somebody that. That's just like, don't try, little Jimmy. It doesn't matter.
Well, like they had this whole thing where they were like, this is going to be your future based on your overall performance in school. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. And they got to me and they're like, you're going to be a gas station attendant. I showed them.
Yeah, and now you're an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
So so that's why try hard, try your best, and if it's really something you want to do and you're having difficulties with it, seek help. Ask for help. And I think the most important thing is figure out the way you learn. Everybody's different, so nobody can tell you that, but figure out the way you learn. So go find something you're interested in, and what's the way that you absorb the knowledge from it? Do you go and read articles online? Do you go and watch videos on it? Figure out the way that you learn, and then see on that interesting topic that you find, and then find a way to absorb the information you want in a similar way. And that might be difficult, but somewhere out there, something's got to be for it. I learned the best by just experiencing. My degree, I ended up getting a degree in IT for web development, and probably 90% of what I know was self-taught. I went and got the degree, but it was just, I barely skimmed by with all of it. Everything I know, I learned by opening up Notepad and W3C schools and just making things. So
Celestia does have cake.
Celestia is fat. No, I needed to have her doing something, and it's cake.
She does like cake.
You remember 100% of the 65% of the time. I know that feeling too. You're good early starters, but I get bored. Boredom is one of my main problems. No, I 100% understand that too. Even SFM, I get bored all the time. Normally, the only way I stay interested is I'll usually put on like really loud music, and so that I can just get into the flow state. But if I'm trying to learn something, what I'll normally do is I'll just start it's easier to stay focused on something if you know when you're going to be done focusing on it. So if you have to read a book, for instance, and you have to read something, say I'm going to read for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go watch a 5-minute YouTube video, and then I'm going to read for 15 minutes. And so you're constantly doing little rewards, because I think most of the issue with ADHD is that we're used to this system where you're constantly getting dopamine hits, and reading for a long period of time is not a dopamine hit. Your brain's saying, give me something. I want something. And so if you break it into that and you're saying 15 minutes to read for, well, that's easy. Your brain can go, oh, I can do that. And so just read 15 minutes. Then you're not thinking about, well, I could be doing that. I could be doing that. You know when you're going to be doing something else. Just watch it, then watch a 5-minute YouTube video, and then go back to read for 15 minutes, and just do this on and off. There's tons and tons of other tricks, but it's mainly if that's the way your brain is programmed, play its game and use it to your advantage. Felicity should be fat, and she is not getting. Well, she's immortal. Like,
I imagine being able to shoot lasers from your head burns a lot of calories.
Celestia?
Yeah.
She shoots lasers out of her head?
Yeah, she does.
When did she do that?
With her horn.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah, she can shoot lasers. That's gotta burn like a crap ton of calories, so she needs that cake. It's a necessity.
So is this like when she starts putting on some weight, she just goes into a room and just like magic sneezes everywhere? Mm-hmm. Can I lose weight like that?
Can you fire lasers from her forehead?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Wish I could. He's so cool.
Maybe one day. Science.
You just have to believe. Oh no. Bread stutter's already starting.
That's too far. Stupid face. Oh my god, I forgot that existed. So I'm back make sure I didn't miss anything here. Probably did. No, but bad teachers should not teach. They tell you and expect you to learn. There's definitely bad teachers out there. I've had my fair share of bad teachers, but most of them I forgot about by now. But I've had at least 2 or 3 teachers that I remember really, really strongly because they were teachers that went above and beyond from what they were in the classroom, but just as human beings to ensure success for people. And they helped ensure a love of science and mathematics and philosophy. And those people were the ones I remember. Were they the best teacher for this specific knowledge? Maybe not. But they were the ones I remember because they gave me a passion for learning. And if a teacher can give you a passion for learning, then they're successful because they can only teach you what they have there. But if they can make you want to keep learning something after the class is over, that's success. Celestia is really good for stupid faces. I mean, really, all you have to do is just...
Yeah, it's one of the things that always bothered me about My Little Pony. Silverware. When would ponies ever need to use silverware?
Well, there's a lot of things that are very, very focused on their human things that were just transplanted into there. But in terms of how things would evolve and be invented over time, it makes no sense that such things exist in that world. Because
I feel like in the earlier seasons they didn't have stuff like that, and then in later seasons they just stopped bothering to not have those things in.
Because I think Lauren Foss had more of a say in some of that stuff.
Yeah. Like, I kind of liked it when there was that scene where Applejack's invited to a dinner with the princess, and she's trying to eat the food, but she's an earth pony, so the only way to eat the food is to lean over and eat it off her plate. But she couldn't figure out a way to do that. That seemed
but then you would think that's
messy.
But being that 1/3 of your population is that, you would think that's they would have something in place to ensure that those the handicapped ponies could consume the food.
The handicapped ponies. No, it's just like there was nothing stopping her from eating the food. She just had to lean over and eat it. But apparently she felt that was too messy for dinner with the princess. Though I doubt Celestia would have cared. I mean that's how ponies eat. But like unicorns are the only ones who can use silverware, and they don't need it. It's not like you're gonna get your magic messy.
I know, you could just hit the end of the fork.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there's cake all over my magic. How does that work?
There's cake all over my magic.
Yes. That was an adorable scene, though. Poor Applejack. What is happening to Celestia?
Bow to me. I am your princess. Hiya, princess. I am Princess Celestia. What?
She looks like a turtle.
What sound do turtles make?
Just like
turtle.
Turtle. Yes, that's the sound turtle.
Did it.
Don't step on me.
Yes. Oh, that didn't work.
Angry bird Celestia. She's a bird. She's a bird. Oh.
Okay, I don't do all that. Go back to normal Celestia. All right, I think that's normal. Hello, Spinex. Critter Rathlo says, yes, I am so lazy on putting stuff on there. I know that for sure. I have one started. I just haven't went back to finish it yet. I've been kind of stuck in this. Hello, Adam. Yes. I do plan to post more stuff on there. That is also one of my goals for next year. But I've been trying to push a growth on YouTube, and that is those things, because there were compilations, mean that anytime putting that stuff would be towards the Twitter account and would be taking away from time to actually put something out on YouTube. So it's one of those things I wish I had more time for, but I still have a full-time job too, so it just takes away from the time. But I do want to make more for it, for sure. It's a nice break from other things. It's just like with Pony, I started out really quick and easy with things, but then as I got better with things, I started wanting to put bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger things together, and that's kind of happening with Rathlos, which I hate, because it means that I can't make something in 2 or 3 hours anymore. It's suddenly becoming 8 or 9 hours, and that suddenly gets much more. That was kind of the point of doing it, yeah. So she eats cake. Yeah, she eats cake by folding her eyes into the back of her head. Point of view, you are cake.
I do like the idea that she puts ketchup on her cake.
Thinks this is worthy of every single cup of coffee I spent on you. Well, I appreciate that. YouTube is actually really solid Rathlos. Yeah, and I wish that I could do those one per. The only reason I do the compilation is because YouTube algorithm does not like super ultra short videos. And so if I were to spam those, for one, people that are used to my channel having other things would think that suddenly I was just a Monster Hunter shill and I was just making tons of Rathos stuff and not doing other things. So it was a way of condensing the very, very short things into a medium that was of equivalent length or value as to the other things. But also was to please the algorithm.
Did you ever finish the trash dump one?
No, that's the one I mentioned. I gotta go back and finish. It's because I've actually been putting time in this, because I mentioned a while ago, one of my favorite parts of video making is the initial process, like figuring out these scenes and stuff. And so when the stream was over the one time, I just wanted to keep working on stuff. So I worked on it for a couple hours on like a Sunday, instead of working on that. But the last couple weeks have been like, I wasn't feeling well the last couple days, so I wasn't really working on anything the last couple days. And then I've been trying to prep some other work for stuff. I did a time lapse on YouTube not long ago. That took like 12 hours to make. It took me twice as long to make a time lapse as the video that it was used for actually took. And I want to do, and I've been prepping for the video for patrons and Twitch subscribers about 2020 review. So I've been kind of putting time into that. So that's what, like, if you look on my desktop, I have all these like Excel documents, because I've been putting together a bunch of stuff information to present. Who does the voice of Rathlos? Rathlos is done by Francis from Left 4 Dead 1. Well, he's in Left 4 Dead 2 as well, but it's Francis from Left 4 Dead, which means that I am going to start running low on audio files for him. I've grabbed most of the good ones. There's still quite a few to go through, but I don't want to run out of those and then be done. So that's where Toby comes in. Toby, I want to do, so spoiler, I am planning to eventually do a series with Toby that is going to use the Keith stories. And if you don't know Left 4 Dead, Ellis from that game, which is what I use for Toby's voice, has these stories of Keith, and it's always my buddy Keith, and he goes in these stories. And so what I wanted to do was like an Adventures with Keith, where I would take, if you haven't watched Red vs. Blue, I wanted to make the format of the Adventures with Bill from Red vs. Blue, from Red Green, and I wanted to make that with Pookie as being Keith, because Pookie and Keith sound the same. So I was going to make it Adventures with Pookeith, and it would have been where I just reanimate all the stories that he says. Some of them are really short and would be difficult to actually work with, but I want to do that, where Toby would be the one telling the story, and then Pookie would be the one being poked and prodded and whatever, so who never actually speak. But I haven't gotten to that yet. It would be Pookeith. Because Keith is just Pookie with TH at the end. So that's the idea I have for it. I started one in that I like made a file and like loaded in 2 models and then I closed it. I just have to legitimately build the Pookie model to work because the Pookie model does not work the way I need it to right now. So that's time investment. And so I haven't done that yet. But that is a plan I want to make. And if you haven't seen The Adventures with Bill from Red Green, they are amazing. And it basically fills the gap of what basically those stories are, of somebody narrating something that's happening in the background with black and white and like quiet guitar music going. And I think I've already figured out some of the music for it. I think that is actually what some of these are for. I believe some of these are for that reason because they fit that theme. I
wonder how many people in your chat even know what Red Green is.
If you don't know Red Green is, look it up. It's Canadian. It's a Canadian show that makes fun. It's like a sketch comedy where they make fun of a different show that was in Canada at the time, but it kind of became its own thing, and it's hilarious. Should you go watch those now? There is like 14 or 15 seasons of it, and it was all public television, and it was glorious. If you are able to skip the first couple seasons, I would jump like into season 3 or 4. The first couple are definitely them getting their groove and a budget, and then whatever you call for a budget for that show. Yeah. But then it's definitely the later like 10 seasons are just spectacular. Catching up here quick. Random number 1 to yes, somebody else that well, good luck.
H.
No, he said Nightmations and Mary, so I wasn't going to answer. So for Celestia here, basically at the beginning here, I didn't want her doing anything other than just looking at Trixie here. Is she actually looking at Trixie? Close enough. Actually, maybe. Oh yeah, it says she's looking right here, but that's not what it looks like she's looking at. And that's what actually matters. The problem right now is if I were to move this too far to the right, if I go to like here, now it's actually looking like she could be looking at the camera, and I don't want that. I want to make sure that the look that she's giving is nowhere near that you are not able to confuse it with looking at the camera. If you're confused with looking at the camera, then you're going to make people think there's a fourth wall break, and I don't want that. So you want to put it far enough to the side that there's not going to be that confusion. And I feel like that's good. I think if I move any further this way, you can maybe go to that. But I kind of want to make it look sidelong, like something that just interrupted her dessert. Maybe this is lunch. Celestia likes cake and ketchup. The ketchup is there because it gives me, if somebody asks like why do you have hair covered in blood, I can be like, it's ketchup. That's the only reason. But I've watched a couple YouTube channels recently that are like PG-13 stuff, and they have like fake blood stuff. So screw everybody. She got the cake, and it had cherry filling. So she was just at a party, and she's like, "Hey, Sambra, you want some cake?" And then he didn't want the cake, so she just dumped it on the floor. Oh, voice impressions. We got a Trixie impression of her overthrowing the government. Trixie overthrowing the government.
Trixie overthrowing the government. I had too much to drink today.
That makes it easier, doesn't it?
I'm not sure. It's like, okay. That's what Trixie was starting. She's like, I'm overthrow the government, I guess. Pull my wagon. I don't like wheels. I've taken over the town. That was the episode. Remember the episode where she took over the town? That's what I did.
You always got to describe it.
Because I'm not going to do a proper impression, so that's the best that I got.
I like how it's like, do Trixie taking over the government. You're like, hi, I'm Trixie, and I'm taking over the government. It's like...
It's like no, I didn't put effort into it.
No.
It was like, okay, everyone, government time, mine.
It's like Carrot Top on fire. Like, hi, my name is Carrot Top. I'm on fire.
My hair is red.
See, and you don't encourage him. Every time he does those horrible impressions, you say awesome.
What, doesn't like wheels. She doesn't trust them.
So I'm just gonna basically animate this part because this is just the eye. I'm definitely gonna add some motion to this, but I want to basically just do like two positions that are very, very similar, so she looks like she's just kind of alive and living there. Trixie is definitely the one that I am not really having much life to. I want her to be very robotic. So Celestia, though, I do need to make alive. I don't know about her eyebrows yet. We're gonna ignore those. We are going to animate her, but just remove the eyes. I think this is going to be kind of a quick transition with a larger fall off. He's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably didn't even hear that.
I don't know. They might fix those up.
You got to introduce yourself before overthrowing the government. Is that like is that a law?
I mean, you do that. Like, you got to know who's overthrowing the government.
You come in there and they're like, I'm Trixie. And, oh no, it's just like, I'm here to overthrow the government. Like, Miss, you must first designate your name before a coup. Can you please exit and return? Damn it. And turn around.
Like,
she's gone. Lock the door.
I got the alicorn amulet, and she's like,
there was something where that happened. Like, there was like a show where they, where they're like, you can't do that unless you fill out this form.
You can't overthrow the government until you fill out this form.
I think it was actually, there was something with Celestia. There's a story that we read at the bad fanfic stuff.
Oh yeah, the one where Twilight decides to overthrow the government.
And so this is actually funny. It's called Celestia Robs a Bank. And the funny thing with this story, here's the picture for it, is that it's when we were at Winnie City, and we said, next story that we're going to read is Celestia Robs a Bank. And the guy in the back of the room just yells, was it written by like Aroa Lego Man? And I'm like, this is a really niche story. Yeah. And he goes, that's me. So in the middle of a convention with like in the bad fanfic panel, the author of this fic that I pulled completely at random from bad fanfiction, the author was in the room, which was fantastic. So we had him come up and read part of the story, and he was flabbergasted. It was super, super fun. It was one of my most memorable moments. We'll get to that one in a second, voice version. It was my most memorable moments because he came up, he was super cool. It was super fun. And I even rewrote the story a little bit. And I think he went and rewrote his story to change some of the elements to incorporate some of the things that I did. Just, it made it easier for reading out loud, but some of the stuff I thought was a little funnier. So it just ended up being funny. And it was just like, what are the chances of that? And I think there was another one we came out to later that he was there again, and I ended up having it, so we had him read again. But like, what are the chances of that? That's fantastic. It was just, it was super cool. Yeah, he hasn't been enough to actually read the story. That's the case. Anyways, another voice impression. Twilight trying to stop Celestia from eating cake.
These aren't even voice impressions. These are like scenarios.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta read
It's like, oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, mic broke.
There we go.
Oh, it's like, Celestia, you have to stop eating cake. It's all going through your thighs. You can't fit in your throne anymore. Celestia, no, stop. Celestia, that's my arm. Let go, Celestia. Let go. No.
Remember when we did the request stream way back and I said no more vor? And then here's Michael. Just spouting vor.
She couldn't stop. She couldn't stop her.
No, so this is the master file for this one. But this had it where she goes to rob the bank, and hey, this is robbery. I'm supposed to take other people's money. You do that with our taxes. Who said that? Now give me the money. In order for us, the robbies, and you, the robber, to complete the transaction, I need you to fill out a legal consent form. It's to recognize that any loss the bank has is not our responsibility, and that the ruler, Princess Celestia, will reimburse the bank from her personal savings till the money that was robbed can be found. Also, that the ruler, Princess Celestia, will take responsibility for the hostages. Hostages? I don't have any hostages. And then, points to the patrons. Oh, right. Damn bureaucrats and making simple things hard. It was actually a pretty funny story. But in this story, she ends up having the name, where she shows her ID of being Sunny D. And this is the ID. And does anybody get this reference? Does anybody know what this is from? Guys, you got another voice impression. I'll get that one sec. Does anybody know what this is a reference to? This is actually a reference. And I spent probably like 3 hours on this. I built this from scratch. I just want to see if anybody gets the reference. Cordial bank robbery. It's from a movie. I basically copied it almost spot for spot.
I think I know the movie, but
SpongeBob reference? No, it's not SpongeBob.
everything's a SpongeBob reference or a Futurama reference.
There it is. It's from what movie was that actually?
I think the movie was called Superbad.
Was it Super?
I want to say Superbad.
No, it might have been. I know I'd see it if I saw it, heard it. Actually, I can probably just one thing. It was a Seth Rogen. Yeah, it was Superbad. Okay. So it was basically just copy pasting this. I did it as close as possible to this exact license. And I thought I did pretty good. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I was made 100% from scratch. None of it was copy pasted from this. The idea was copied, but not pasted. It was actually made. And like I was trying to think of like when would she have been born? And like date of birth 1 and 1,000 years later. But then I thought that technically it would maybe be like a little bit over 1,000 years. And eyes, I think is magenta eyes scare. I was just making sure she was a little fat.
The horse. It's fine. Hair, sky.
I couldn't think of what else to do. Equestrian horse card. I'm proud of it. It was. It's one of those things that you spend a ton of time doing for a single laugh during a presentation because we read it out loud, but it is one of those laughs. So when people see it and they get a good hearty laugh out of it and they can catch the reference, that makes it all worthwhile. It was so fun. Adam said it, but I had already showed it, and I don't know if he said that or not before, so I'm just gonna go with that. That you cheated. She's class 3 horse. I don't even know what the class. That was taken right from the. She is class 3. Is that what an alicorn is? She is class 3? Like they have like Pegasus are class 2 and unicorns are class 1, and then like Earth ponies are just zeros.
Yeah, they don't even get licenses.
It's just a dash.
Poor Earth ponies.
Okay, so when she goes to turn her head here, this one's gonna probably be pretty easy. And so for those fanfics that we do, I usually try to make a picture. I haven't made one for a while because normally I'm so last minute for doing these. And when we do it online, it's really hard to jump from the pictures to the scripts and everything. But I do want to do more of those. And I have probably about 14 or 15 unique pictures that are really only presented then. I've thought about putting them on DeviantArt just because at this point, some of them I made years ago. I just haven't got across to it. Like that's one. And then, no, I never made fun for that one. Those are new. Is this Vor? Except for so this is another gimmick where I would say I would say like, here's the picture for it, and they'd be like, oh wait, sorry, that's I can't show that in public, and then I'd go to this one, which makes it way worse.
No, Adam, you forgot.
How do you participate in a raid? If you're in the stream when somebody raids another channel, it just kind of an automatic thing you go with. What's another one here? Oh, this is the Derpy Hunt. This one was the picture for it actually was just, I think, from this, and it just worked well. I added the text. It actually legitimately looks like it fits with the text though, which is pretty cool. Like that's the title of something, but I put that on there. But then I think I want to see if this still works. Hold on.
Free death.
It's so stupid.
Your eyes red.
I put way too much time into this. This one, I'm not going to go into these, but I have a ton of stuff for this one. But this one had a gimmick where it was supposed to be Starlight Glimmer over XD everything. And so I'd have 4 pictures, and I would open this one, and then they would be like, I would put it up, and then people would giggle, and with the intent that I would look at the screen, then it'd be like, oh nope, I'm sorry, that's not the right picture, and then I would go to the next one, and look away, and then normal people would giggle again, so I'd look again and be like, oh nope, that's actually still not the right one, and then I'd go to this one. But because the first time we did a panel, somebody had asked about a second picture I had there. And the point of the picture was if somebody had noticed something, I was to open that for that purpose. But because it wasn't noticed, I didn't open the second one. Nobody called out the joke, so I didn't go forward with it. Because of that, I thought that somebody would do that again here. So I put 4 pictures and I only showed 3. Somebody at the panel says, what's picture 4? So I went to this one. And it actually went really well, and it was really funny. So I knew that people were going to ask the question, and so I made fun of them for asking the question. Being able to make a joke like that and people actually falling for it makes that entertaining. Where is it? I ran out of time. So I made this in like 5 minutes. I just left it because it is so bad. Like that, it is so bad. It is wiggly text because I just use a really low quality whatever, and I add a lens flare because you do that to make things look cool. This one actually took me a little bit because I actually custom-ed the image for it.
No.
You get an F in shipping. That's the name of the book.
A yawn for Twidash. That's a popular ship.
I like it, but it doesn't mean that was what they were looking for. Or it was the person that was grading it based on the story would not have liked it. Ethical quandaries. They're meant to be made really as fast as I can. I'll spend at most an hour on these, and but that's still a lot of time when you try to think of like multiple pictures. I just stole this one as one of my old pictures. Face goes. It just ended up working. We have a lot of these. Airshipping is magic. That is, I think, the first one I ever did.
Disturbing.
And somebody sent me a tweet of being, I think, at Everfree. No, not Everfree. EQLA. When they did the panel there, and they ended up reading the story, and they had this up on the screen during it. And somebody tweeted me saying, "What is this?" I wasn't at that convention when they played it. Jay was looking for some of the stories, and I sent him there. Bowler's Adventure. Get that one. I was wearing a maid outfit. It's pancakes, and there's lava everywhere because you have to read the story to understand that one. Why is Celestia Arbor Banks in this one too? Whatever. Dallas Finest, that one's probably not Twitch safe. My Little Lobster. She's hungry. Oh yeah, this one. That one actually took me quite a while because I had like, this is stupid, and he's the best princess. Even she's best princess, but for the story, she's best princess.
What are you talking about? Luna is much better princess. Celeste.
Everybody has opinions, and they're correct in having their opinion. Doesn't mean they're right.
I mean, your opinion's wrong.
Please kill me. This one, actually, I just really wanted to make a John Wick reference, and so I made it for that purpose. I spent a lot more time on this one, but I just wanted to make it anyway, so I used it for a reason. This took me a long time to make, but it was fun. And everybody wants to kill Twilight, apparently. And I think my OC's right there. And that one actually is on my DeviantArt. So if you do want a good copy of that one, this is one that I was hoping that some people would find a joke on. Not everybody did. This one actually did take me quite a while because trying to match the shading, the coloration, the saturation, everything actually took me quite a while. And I'm actually quite proud of it. I think Spike's the only one I'm not 100% sure on. Everybody else actually blends pretty good. And I am pretty proud of it. What the intent was that, again, I would post this picture and with something intentionally missing. And Derpy's right there. And in here, the intentional missing bit was there is no Applejack.
That's the standard for Hasbro.
So it is, I think I include, I include 5 of the main ones, and then I even made sure that Starlight Glimmer was towards the front, but no Applejack. This is you could say it looked like Applejack, but it's actually Starlight. And so the intent was that you wouldn't catch that, and then when people would be like, "Where's Applejack?" I'd be like, "She's right here." So I purposely did that. It just, nobody actually ever asked that question, and so I'm sad, but you guys get to see it. But I'm really proud of this picture. I think it's really, really fun. Oops.
Hey, Derpy. I would be remiss if we ignored Adam's request.
What was Adam's request?
He asked for a voice impression.
Did he? Mm-hmm. I was just kind of going on a roll there. Oh, he did. Applejack, but she inhaled helium. You okay? If you want to.
There was the moment where like, good, he forgot, and then there was a moment like, but he did pay the points. Okay, so Applejack inhaled. Applejack. It's like, but the helium's like, boy, howdy, apples. That's nice. It's like, I'm Applejack. Is that your name?
It's like I said before, you guys
apples. Apples. I sure do love apples.
No, you're done.
Okay, good.
It's good. This is my favorite stream. Well, thank you very much. One of the next ones here. So this is another gimmick that we decided to do. And so this is the collected poems of Monpie. So I really don't. Oh, do I have a picture? Oh, I do have a picture.
I like that.
I like that. So the intent behind this one was that they are just simple poems. Like if rocks could talk, they wouldn't say anything because they don't have brains. They're rocks. And the intent was, and I had a lot of these, that between every story, John, one of our friends, who loves Mod Pie as his favorite pony, would read these. And he has this big mustache, and he would read these between, and he can do a very good monotone voice, like a good fun monotone voice. And so I bought a pair of bongo drums. And so he would go up there, and so we would read one of the poems, or he would read it, and between every one of those phrases, he'd go like boom on the bongo drums, and then afterwards everybody would click. It went way better than I thought it would have been. Everybody would click and then immediately laugh. But it was funny. But then we started out that segment playing this. If you don't, that's Mr. Torg from Borderlands. And it made no sense. It was funny. But that day, I don't think the audio was working. So that part we didn't actually get played, but I put time, whatever. It took me like 5 minutes to add that part. It was fun. Oh yeah. And then I was going to originally just like do guitar solos after he was done and the clicking was done, that I would just, I don't want to, I guess I can do, but it just like, just stuff like that. So anyway, it didn't quite work out. Oh, what's this one? Oh, we didn't do a picture for that one. Toy Sparkle fixes everything. Oh, this is another one I put a lot of time into.
Wow, I can tell you put time into that one.
Like getting her head in there, getting all her wings, painting everything purple, and then like color or masking it to look like the background. It took me quite a while. Well, I gotta get rid of that volume meter there. I'm kind of proud of that one too. And that one's a fun story. That one I had to heavily modify to make it work. Oh, I want that up or that. Go away. And then Twilight Sparkle punched a baby.
No, jeez.
It's a funny story. I purposely spelt one of the one of the title cards wrong, hoping that somebody would be a grammar Nazi and call me out on it. And I had a printed certificate that I was going to sign their name on and then hand them there stating that you were Ciderfest's grammar Nazi. And nobody actually called me out on it. So I never actually gave that to somebody, because that would have been so fun. I was so confident somebody was going to call me out on bad spelling, purposeful bad spelling.
Just need a draft to be there.
Some of these bad fanfic panels are probably the panel I put the most amount of prep work to for a convention, but it's because these like calculated moments to get people to laugh is just so fun, especially when people get it. I'm probably about 4 out of 5 on getting on it, but that's pretty good. Like I'm really happy about it. Applejack's best day ever. Oh, okay. So this is a story that I wrote. I wrote the story, and it was for Jay Holler. Jay Holler's favorite pony is Applejack, and he was going to be on the panel. So I said, okay, Jay, we have a story for you, and I want you to read Applejack. And he goes, okay. And then I hand him a piece of paper that says this. It just says, Applejack died, the end. And he goes, it just says she died. And then I played this video, and there's a story with this too. I spent so long on this, and it got the laughter I wanted.
Yes.
But then, while this is playing, Adam just screams and points at the monitor and says, "See you later, space cowboy." And then that pops up immediately afterwards. Adam's here too, and it was so perfectly timed. He just screams, just like, yeah! It was good. Good time. That one only worked once. I never used that video or did anything with it since then. This one was another really cheap one. It's Gra, physically enchanted psychic war, yell of mass destruction. These are real stories. Some of them were purposely made to be bad, but that made it that much better. No, that one doesn't have one. Oh, this one actually did put a lot of time into. This is actually where I learned how to use negative lights for putting blood on objects. It was from this picture that I figured out how to do it the way that works for me, and it worked pretty well. Yeah, she blew up. Marmite showers. This one, after some rule breaking, we are not doing that story again. We actually brought Marmite, and it did not go well. So we're not doing that again.
It got everywhere.
That is why it's on the retired folder. Oh, and when the con says you cannot let people share it, and then at the very end, Kyle's like, "Come on up for Marmite." I'm like, "Kyle, he just told you no." He's like, "Oh crap." That one doesn't have any. And then Wii U, which because I read it at like 3 conventions, and it's a solo read. Solo reads are difficult. This one, actually, I have a printed version, or I have a book that has this printed on a printed version of this on its cover. I don't know if I have the original print of this anymore. Maybe. If I do, I'd have to dig for it. But it's actually a double cover bit that was made to fit the Diary of the Two Sisters, and this was the cover of it. And then there was a whole backside too that had like fake quotes and stuff. And then so it was just a fake cover on the book. And then I printed out some sheets and I put it in the middle of it, so it looked like I was reading an actual copy of it. But this one also had a couple little extra bits. So there's certain parts in there that she's supposed to make like fire truck noises, and so I have these. So yeah, I went for web development, so I made this in like 5 minutes. I just wrote this a quick web file up. So, and then I could just do that. But the one that was fun is when she's going and she's trying to kill everybody. So bad. Oh, and her letter to Princess Celestia.
Dear Princess Celestia. Always your faithful student, Twilight.
Oh, I think that's all I got right now. These are built up from years and years. Right, it's so choppy. Oh, I'm sorry. It probably is probably just the linkage for computer. I haven't still fixed up that crap. Anyways, so yeah, that is all my bad fanfic stuff. I don't think they ever put recordings of it up. I have recordings of some of the Super Fight panels we've done, but I don't have any of the others. Being daily dose of books. She needs the books. Sorry, Warriors are backing up. Or what does your Steam UI look like? I'm trying to see if mine is outdated. Just updated Steam. It's whatever Steam gives you is its most up to date bit. Anyways, so let's see here. Oh yeah, I was gonna make her blink. That's what this was. So it's going to 0 and then just do a standard close. Oh, that is not timed right. Well, that's super slow. Well, Steam shouldn't control your UI. Yeah, it just looks like this. Voila. It's Steam. I think I need to go one earlier. Well, then update your Steam or uninstall it and reinstall it.
Steam always gives me the vapors.
I think that's correct timing.
There was a joke in there. Did you get it? Steam.
Oh, I get it. It's bad.
Steam.
No,
Water vapor.
you shush.
I thought it was clever.
The man that thinks he's clever thinks he's clever.
This is accurate.
Okay, so I'm gonna have her do. So normally, how I would do things is you go from one head position to another head position, blink in the middle, and then do a little head dip. And if you do that, it's almost always just like the bare minimum, and you're good. Celestia is a little bit more difficult because if I dip her head, like say I had her head go, it's not wouldn't be that drastic, but do like that, her main's actually gonna follow with. Normally, what I would do is once the hair is baked to where it's no longer going to have the automated jiggles, I will usually actually blend across that motion so that it wants to stay where it was between the two and it won't move. I like lock it to the world and do that, so that her head moves, but her mane kind of just wiggles slightly between the two positions, because I don't want to have her mane like whip around with her head. That doesn't really work. So, and the idea here is it's a slight motion, so I want to have a dip, but very little. Even more littler than that. Is that a phrase? I want it to be very subtle. That's pretty subtle. When in doubt, unplug and plug it back in. That's the whole trope with like IT of it doesn't work, like restart it or unplug, plug it back in. Those are like for stupid reason. If you restart it, almost any bad settings are going to be brought back to their defaults. So it fixes most problems. There might be an internal problem that after fixing or after restarting, it might reoccur again, but it will usually get most things to work. And if you unplug something afterwards, it usually will clear certain stuff that's in your system. Maybe not a PC, but other electronics. It sometimes can clear a lot of things that are locked in because it's still maintaining electrical contact. When you restart a router, that's the reason they say to shut it off and then unplug it so that it completely resets everything. So no, most things are fixed by restarting. It's anytime I run into a problem with anything, my first thought is I'm just going to restart it right away because it only takes like 30 seconds and it might solve things. Okay, when she goes to this position, so her eye here is equivalent to her eye here. Yes. So what I want to do is after she gets into this position, I want to have her eye shift to the other eye position again. This one. Or is that too far? That's too far. I'm going to go just a little bit. Okay. I actually do not want to use that. I want to use this one. Nope, wrong direction. There. Oh, I think then I want to have her like kind of drift a little bit that direction. We'll do that. Oh, that's what I need to do. What?
Quite a few more viewers than I thought you would get tonight.
Actually, yeah, it was a lot more than I thought. That's good. That's cool. It means more talking and less work, but that's fine. That's entertainment is the purpose.
You started animating.
Get a little bit done. I actually do get a little bit less done than I used to because there's more people, but at the same time, it's much more fun. And that's the purpose of it too. So I don't mind at all. Okay, now I'm going to take the eyes and we're going to go...
You can get one thing. If you could get one thing out of this whole video, I hope it's just somebody drawing a picture of Celestia putting ketchup on her cake.
More than likely, this is going to be completely missed. Some people might question it, but it's not going to be considered anything of importance. The main reason it's there is so when people ask, why did she murder Celestia? I can just say, no, she didn't. She was getting cake and she hit the ketchup. There's nothing proving that it did happen.
I'm just imagining like Trixie trying to like get ketchup with that face the whole time and just like squirting it all over herself. Because she's Trixie.
Well, she's like Stab.
No. That's horrifying.
It's fine. It's fine. She's cake. She's always been cake.
This makes me sad. No, you stop stabbing horse. Oh, horse.
She's fine. Look at. She's fine. She's even gonna go back to cake. It's like, ow. Ow. Ow.
This is kind of a knife through the jugular.
It's like,
ouch.
Can you not?
Sting.
That hurts. Can you not? Ow.
Poor Celestia.
And then she's like, okay. She's like, "No, go bye now." Tico.
Dark.
It's back. What if Celestia is cake? She's always been cake.
You are what you.
Okay, that I know. Now I'm gonna be showing my old timey person type thing with this. What is with carp? I have no idea what the hell the thing is with carp.
I don't know how they did it, but somebody posted a Twitter thing, which was just a picture of a carp, and if you clicked it, it had this button on the post where if you clicked it, it just said carp, and you clicked it, and I guess it retweeted, and then the same tweet went out to other people where they could also just click carp, and it would immediately retweet the carp. So the carp was everywhere.
Because it just came out of nowhere.
And I don't know how, because I don't know where that button came from or how they managed.
Yeah, it's the only one I've ever seen.
I've never seen it on anything else.
It might be an experimental feature that was somebody just happened to find through carp.
Just carp.
It just came up out of nowhere. Suddenly I'm just scrolling through my feed. I'm like, why is there so many carps?
You hit the carp button.
I felt like an old man because I was behind the meme by 1 hour. All right, see you later, Redstoner. Thanks for coming though. So the nuclear launch computer is malfunctioning. What should we do? Well, Johnny, just unplug it and plug it back in. That's a technique I bet the Reds never found out. Well, the thing is, they've actually had such situations like that happen. She's at a diner. There's catch us there by default. Well, she's actually in the castle. It's a separate map. I don't have it loaded right now because I can't load two maps at once or have it swap like that. I'm actually working in this shot right now, though, so I can. It's on the other monitor. I had to change some stuff earlier, and it ended up throwing my other monitor as my default, and now it like defaults a lot of stuff over there. It's not set as that anymore, but it did do it temporarily. It is. Yeah, this one. Well, I'm going to do the no lights one for the final. Yeah, you could never be sure if something is not cake until you cut it with a knife.
It's like, maybe don't test that one. It is the cat cake.
So this is what it would look like with. Well, I'm gonna keep the lights off, but this is what it would look like. In the end, essentially.
I didn't even know this map was made. Like
I use this map all the time.
That's not the one.
Like this is the door that the changelings burst through.
Oh, holy crud! Is this the one that was used as a TF2?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the other shot that the changelings were busting through the door. I use this one all the time because if you try to use it as Canterlot as a whole, like between a nonstop shot, it's very small. But for most things on the inside, you can work it very, very well for that.
It's an exact recreation of the part of Canterlot. It's not the castle; it's the garden that the gala takes place in. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially. But I use it for Canterlot all the time, and it's called Canterlot. I think it's Canterlot War Games.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my banner?
It's the I guess that is part of the castle where they had the gala. It's not the whole castle.
Where's the Cantrell Have War Games banner?
They had Twilight's birthday party in that part of the place too.
Apparently, I thought you could turn them on or off. It might be that I have to just flag it, but normally there's like a big banner here for this Cantrell War Games. There's a bunch of stuff like there's like a spot here where there's like a cannon and Pinkie Pie gets stuck somewhere. There is
there's the mines. Trixie's room?
Those must be flags for certain aspects of things running that people can check out. Yeah, they have Trixie's room.
Why does she have her own private room under the castle?
I know it's a lot of lewd pictures too. But
Oh my.
there is, if you dig around here, it might take me a minute to find it. So like these actual mines things are pretty useful too.
Yeah, they would be. Wow, this place is more extensive than I realized.
It's got a lot of stuff in it. But there's a Easter egg. I just have to remember where. I think you drop down.
Trixie's bedroom.
It's just that it's certain segments that cut things off. I think. Oh, there it is. It's a spot where like people can drop down and then like they have a very bloody Fluttershy.
Oh, no.
That comes up. The lighting's not working right now, so it's a little too bright, but normally it'd be very dark and she'd be very evil looking. She's got a skull and a yeah, she's fine. And this is old enough map that these are V1 models. These are way back at KP Shadow Scrolled quality, so you can see like the box off edges and everything. But there's a lot of rooms if you go up into here. So this is a armaments area. This is Celestia's bedroom.
I like that one.
And that's the staircase going up. This is another. I can remember what that is for. This is the in Luna's banishment. This was the one room that had all the books in it.
Okay.
She was in. Oh yeah, there's Luna's bedroom.
Wow, this place, it doesn't look that big, but it's got a lot going
on. Here's another little arcade thingy. There's just another room here, but this place has a lot to it. And I have a version of this map that I removed all the lights for, and so I can customize it a bit more. But and it has a coffee stand here. It's Apple Bucks coffee. It's got a full like thing there. And then across the hall is just another one of them.
Yeah, I have to.
There's a maze. Kind of. There's a garden thing outside the garden. It's just a lot of stuff. This is actually again where I did the shot for what do you call it? Fireworks. I just put some ground bit above everything to hide it, and then I just had everything come from up there so it looked like it was coming from the castle.
No, there's definitely some effort put into this place.
Where do you guys go to shop for food? Target or Cub Foods. Cub Foods is more of a Minnesota or Midwestern, I guess, type place, but normally Target. But it's also because we're just really close to Target. It's like
it's weird. I just go to
it's like across the not even half a mile that way. It's like super close.
I go to our neighbors and I steal food from their fridges.
Anyways, it was put the lights on here. So the idea here is that the table was going to hide the knife, but I'm going to definitely play with the lights for that. And then it's just going to go boop and then just okay. Apparently there's only cake on this. You go to Target? Why would I go to... What's wrong with Target? It's one of the giant super Targets that have like a full grocery. Half the store is grocery.
Yeah,
Maybe a third. But it's a full grocery, and they're cheaper than Cub, and they have all the same stuff. So... I mean, what are you a plebe that only buys from like Whole Foods?
I only shop at the finest Walmart.
Well, that tomato is not the right shade of red. I only get red. It must have at least 95% royal red.
I get all my groceries from the holiday station.
We get only the finest frozen pizzas. I will. My frozen pizzas must have at least 1.45 pounds of cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
And 3 toppings. One must be black olives.
Your favorite.
I hate olives on pizza. Actually, the pizza today was pretty good. They were cooked to where they weren't overly strong.
Good after you've had a few drinks.
Yeah. Well, I only had one of them. I had 3 of the other one. So.
Yeah.
Harris Teeter. I've heard of Wegmans. I've never heard of Harris Teeter. But it's, to me, us Target is closer. Cub is just a little bit further, but they just tend to be more expensive. That's the main reason why. I used to shop at Trader Joe's all the time because I love their stuff. But now we are literally at a middle spot between 2 Trader Joe's, and it is a much further drive to go to Trader Joe's. So there's certain things that if I'm in the area, I will go and pick up a bunch of them. Like I love their peanut butter and I love their milk. So I'll usually grab those 2 things at least. I do like other things they have, but some of those are more perishable. So I don't. But we used to actually get about 80, and this is not with him, but with my sister when I lived with her, we used to get about 80-90% of our groceries at Trader Joe's. They're fancier, but at the same time, a lot of the prices are equivalent, maybe a little bit more on some things, but the quality of a lot of the stuff was actually a lot higher. And I enjoyed the flavor of a lot of the stuff a lot more. And a lot of it had just less junk in it. $5 Costco chicken. I haven't been to a Costco for like years. Again, we're not really close to one. Proximity is important to me. Target, I can go to Target, get something and be back. I can go do a full shopping trip at Target and back in like 20 minutes. So it's just super, super close. Trader Joe's, it would take me the full 20 minutes just to get for the drive there almost. Only go to Target for clothes or toy stuff. Clothes of toy stuff. Okay. I don't really buy much for clothes anymore. I'm kind of having to get some new stuff, but because of COVID, I've been pushing off. But I want to get some more pants because almost all of my pants are too big now. I lost a lot of weight and now none of them fit. So I only have 2 pairs of pants that fit, and they're both very, very old. And one of them fits, but it's still pretty baggy. And the other one is the only one that fits good. So I want to get some more. Chase Banks, I don't know of any in the immediate area to me. But I know that they're around.
My bank's nowhere near here. So
yeah, you did a credit union. You're always gonna have problems with that stuff.
Yeah, my closest bank location is 800 miles from here, and I still bank with my bank. So having a location nearby really isn't a necessity anymore. You can do everything online now.
And most banks, especially after COVID, are probably going to be doing a lot more or focusing more on online. I haven't been to a bank forever either. I do US Bank. They had tons of locations everywhere. But even when COVID wasn't a thing, I was depositing all my checks through the phone. It didn't cost anything. It was free. I did all my banking through my phone. The only time I ever went there is if I needed like a large amount of cash for some reason, but that rarely happened. Or so there's a story with this one. They messed up on something. They stole my bank account. Oops. Like completely. Like my bank account disappeared. My checking account. Imagine having a day that all of your money disappeared.
That'd be a bad day.
Where I logged into my phone and it said my checking wasn't there. It said my savings, but my checking was gone. And I had my paycheck coming in like 3 days, which was a direct deposit. And I'm like, uh-oh. And so I Googled some stuff and they're like, yeah, usually if that happens is because of identity theft, that somebody stole your identity and they basically like redirected your account to them. And I'm like, Okay. So immediately after work, which was like an hour and a half to figure this out, I drove to the bank and I asked them about that. I sat down, waited, talked with the guy, and he said, well, it shows that as of today, that authority, somebody with the authority on the account had transferred it to their name. And I'm like, who? And because I need to know who. And they oh, well, thank you, Jacob. Thank you very much. And welcome. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And so they asked me to like, and so they were reluctant to kind of give the name, but they ended up giving it to me, and it was my dad's name. And I'm like, the hell did my dad do? And so and they're like, well, we actually can't do anything about it right now because it was done through that bank. You'll have to contact that bank because they're the ones that did all the paperwork. So immediately call my father, and I'm like, what the hell did you do to my bank account? And he goes, and they said that, well, we were just at the bank doing some fixes on our will and changing some stuff. And apparently, when I had signed up for this account a long, long time ago, and I didn't realize it, but my dad was apparently a co-signer on my account. I didn't need him there anymore, but this was literally like 20 years ago. I was in my teens, so it was done that way. And so when they did some changes on everything, they basically just, when they made the changes for the will to basically redirecting the finances in case of any problems, they basically just hit a button that changed everything. And in doing so, it took the account that had his name on it with me as a primary and yanked it to his name and took me off of it. And they realized they screwed up because it wasn't the only thing. There was other problems that became because they basically just hit the screw everything up button instead of the screw up only the things we were supposed to screw up button. And so I threw a hissy fit. My dad threw a hissy fit. He went to the bank the next day and talked to him about it. And they realized they screwed up, but they were unable to release authorization of my bank account to me without a written signature. And I'm like across the cities. I'm like, now you want me to drive 40 minutes to go to a bank to sign a goddamn piece of paper that after bank hours, because I'm not working in that time, and for a problem that you did. I'm like, no. I'm like, you're going to do the freaking authorization over the phone or something, because I am not going to waste all my time of the day and take time off of work just to fix your screw up. The bank, in their good graces, actually the bank manager drove down to meet me at the parking lot in front of my apartment after hours with the paperwork to have me sign it. That was actually pretty cool. So he did go out of his way because he's like, we messed up. He goes, I apologize. We messed up, which you're not going to normally hear a business say. So the fact they did that, it was cool. So I signed the paperwork. He goes, it should be back tomorrow in the morning. And I was panicking because direct deposit going to the account. And he goes, no, that should be fine. It'll still go to the account. And so don't worry about that part. And yeah, it was in about 24 hours. My account came back and showed up there, and then my dad was off of it. And so that was also part of the signature. So they went above and beyond to fix it, but they really effed it up. And that, you want to talk about panic moment though, thinking you had identity theft. Whew.
Probably a little bit of a relief when you realized it was your dad.
Kind of. At the same time, it's like, my dad's a good guy.
Yeah.
It's like, why would he do that? I'm like, something is off here. And I kind of got angry at him for no reason. But then he was like, what the hell happened? So,
yeah, because he was probably confused too. But at least when you realize it's him, then you're like, okay, I'm sure, work it out.
Probably actually, exclamation mark, get even more lost. Yeah, it was wrong. But how often do you hear of the bank manager for a bank driving all the way down 40 minutes for a personal trip after hours to get a piece of paper signed? That was it, in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere. And I asked for ID and whatever, or not ID, but like confirmation that he was a bank manager. I wasn't going to sign anything. And I read the paperwork that while I was there too. So that was cool. So he made things right. And I've said before that mistakes happen, problems happen. It's how you make up for it that matters. They made up for it. And so I was tempted to shift my banking away from them because that was a big F up, but they fixed it. So I kind of let it go. I have been considering moving my banking because my current work has a credit union, a lot better rates, but at a loss of convenience because US Bank is everywhere. I like having convenience. You got to keep those customers. No, you got to keep those customers. But when you're working in a customer oriented place, you are not 100% accurate all the time. Mistakes happen. People are people. you're going to have problems. And again, it's how you fix it. What lengths are you going to go to make it right? There's certain lengths. If they had just done what they need to do to make it right, even if it took like a week, it would have been like, I'm angry, you fixed it, whatever, but I would have still been angry. When you go above and beyond, then that means in the future, if you're like, yeah, they messed up, but at least now I know if something goes wrong, that they are willing to put in the effort to fix it. At least that bank is, which is good. That's really cool. But also imagine if they did decide to take too long and then I ran into financial difficulties. Like, since it was no longer in my name, let's say that my credit card, which is no longer attached to that credit card, has an auto payment go through. It's going to bounce and it's no longer going to go through. Who's going to pay for the fee on that? Bank doesn't want to pay it. So they wanted it fixed as fast as possible. So I'm like, I could have just started like trying to buy things on my card or something. It would have been interesting if it was like in my dad's name, but I could just keep spending on it. My dad did make a joke on that. Oh, what was that? He did like a false threat on something. Oh no, it was because of his will, and the money was taken to his account, and he's like, the joke came up. Well, it's fine if you want your money back. I guess I'll just have to die, because the will was just set to with how the will was set up and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you basically you took my money, but then put a bounty on your head to get it back. But oh yeah, that was a panic moment. Let's see if I can. I wonder if I should do. I'm gonna just do another keyframe here of a slight adjustment in her position. We're gonna do it a little bit further down. There.
Yeah, I think the only real downside to not having my bank around here is that I can't get a free notary. Because when you bank with a place, they'll generally notarize stuff for you for free.
You don't know a notary?
I don't.
I know like 2 people that are notary publics.
Really?
Yeah. I've never had a need for one, so. One of the guys in the Brony group, I figured out recently, was a notary public, and then one of my old coworkers, they just got it a long time ago, and they just kept it. So they're a notary public too.
Neat.
Probably have a problem in her a car. I was the person behind the counter and had a person without a reservation insist on getting their AAA discount. The moment I got put in the discount, the price jumped 75%, and then it applied a 5% discount. Well, if they're insistent. So yesterday's when the parents wake up and find you raiding the pantry. That's basically the look I was going for. Exactly.
Oh no.
Malicious compliance. Yeah. That's customer service. When somebody is insistent that this is the way they want things and they won't go any other way, even when you know that is going to make it worse for them, customer's right. You let them have what they want. And then if it's wrong, tell them.
I like how Celestia, her idea of a bite of cake is an entire slice just being shoveled into her mouth.
Well, yeah, but it's also because I can't make a smaller bite.
Yes, I know, but it's funnier this way.
But it's also can be implied because afterwards, basically the same slice of cake is on the knife that you just stole the cake. I think it's mine now. And it's also the fact that she's at a table apparently by herself because nobody's helped her and ate a whole cake to herself.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm going to have today? Cake.
Cake.
Not a slice of cake.
Oh, cake.
Just cake. The whole shebang. What is the ketchup for? It's for the cake.
Yeah.
No,
like ketchup on their cake.
I mentioned before, the ketchup is so that if people say, why you murdered Celestia, I could be like, no. She came in and she's like, I want some cake. Because she looks down and she's like, I want cake. She's like, I'm gonna cut me a slice of cake. But she missed. And then she's covered in blood afterward. She's covered in ketchup afterwards. And so she got covered in ketchup. It's not, I mean, yeah, you can imply that there was maybe some shenanigans going on, but that's not the way I wrote it.
Shenanigans. Stabbery.
Murderous shenanigans. So that was the intent behind it. I try to keep things PG-13 at the most, and so I like to give it where if there is something violent that happens, some kind of an out for it. Like, and actually, this is the second time I've used cake for that reason. In Alishai 2, there's one part where a guy was supposed to literally get like blown in half, and I didn't really want to do that, so instead. So it's after the crash here. So when you hear the screaming at the end here, she gets hit with cake. So that is not a cake noise. That is a blood man being blown to bits. And so that's cake. So, because cake.
What about the one where the horses were on fire?
Yeah, but they didn't die. They're just on fire.
They're on fire.
Well, and the fire was around them.
They weren't on fire.
They weren't on fire.
Covered in fire.
Yeah, they were given a nice warm hug.
Yes, the fire was hugging them tightly.
And then there's other ones where like people got blown out of windows and whatever, but that's normal PG-13 like kids movie stuff. So that's fine.
E for everyone.
I don't think I have any other. I don't have any edgy stuff, mainly because again, when I started a lot of this stuff, my nieces and nephews were a lot younger, and I didn't want to have anything violent. Well, the other thing, like in SciToy's video, I didn't want to have him legitimately being crushed, so the intent instead was to use a giant mallet because I can just make him kind of disappear. So again, it is and there's no blood or anything because it makes it PG-13 violence.
Wasn't one of your first videos that implied that Derpy was eaten by a dragon?
Yeah, but she comes out.
I thought you said no 4.
But she came back up. And no, there was no eating, only expelling.
So it's fine. And
this is before the rule. I'll make exceptions for myself, damn it. I don't think I have. Oh, there's like beating up of creatures and stuff, and two people fighting, but they never actually like really interact with it. So it's pretty. Oh, and then like there's Tyr gets melted.
It happens.
I mean, like he gets annihilated here, but none of that was actually shown. So again,
I mean,
cartoon violence.
So it's not violent, your videos, as long as you don't think about it too much. But
well, there's a lot of that where you go, did they just... And then that's where it's good. And so here, it's when Trixie comes back and like, did Trixie just... Nah, it's ketchup. It's ketchup. It's ketchup. Ketchup?
Ketchup.
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 Is it ketchup or ketchup?
Ketchup. Ketchup.
We're going to get more into like a crayon thing.
Ketchup. It's crown.
No, you're just saying crown.
No, crown. Crayon.
It's just saying crown.
I'm saying crown. Crown.
No, you're saying crown and crown.
Crown. I'm saying it very differently. One of them has a Y.
I want to get this every time. Do we want to do this again? Okay. Okay. Chat here. Okay. We're going to have you say it. No, say... Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say anything. Okay. So, what is this?
That's a crown.
What is this?
Crown.
And this?
Crown.
And this?
Crown.
And what is this?
Crown.
Does anybody hear a difference?
I do.
I don't hear any difference.
That's a crown, and the other one's a crown.
It's the same thing!
I am saying two very different words.
He didn't take English.
That's crown and crown.
No, saying the same word.
I am not.
And thanks for the follow, Kitty. And hello, Go Graves.
Minnesotans are
Crown.
weird.
Crown.
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 Which one did I say?
Oh.
Crown.
Crown.
No, because then you're just going to repeat what the same word to me.
You just said crown.
No. I don't even know anymore.
Crown. 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 Crown.
It's the tiniest difference that is barely noticeable to the human ear.
You can hear the difference, though, right, Sir Edward?
There's a difference.
Crown.
There's a difference. But if you were to, without context and not going back and forth, and just say, "I am holding this," and I'm not looking, I would not know what you're talking about.
But that's the word.
Yeah, Warhorse says it right. Crayon.
He's spelling it out first off.
Because all he did was add a hyphen. That was it.
No, it's just crayon. Crayon. Crown.
No, when you put it together, your brain suddenly just mushes it together.
No,
crown. You're like, no,
crown. Crayon.
No, I'm thinking like, what's that guy from King of the Hill?
Oh,
Boomhauer? Yeah, you're basically boomhauering the word. Like, I'm beginning it down with crown. See, there is a difference, but if it's because we're showing it within context what's there so your brain can interpret it. If all I heard was that word and I was to have to determine which it is that he was thinking about, I would have to use way more brain power than I should need to for the human language. English language.
You say crown. Say crown.
I don't know which it is you're referring to. Crayon.
What?
Crayon.
Crayon.
It's either crayon or crayon.
You're just saying it slower. You're like a drawl. You're putting way too much emphasis on the second half.
See, I'm right because I'm me.
Yes. More derpies. Thank you, Jurassic.
More derps for content. How does it help?
It does help.
Crayon? Yeah, there are some words that you could probably just, like, at least same thing. Happy noises. A heavy Scots accent? No, I can understand that.
No, I was in Scotland. I had a taxi driver I could barely understand.
I think I did this with her jawbone. All right. Oh, no, it is with that. Okay, that's perfect. So...
Say casserole.
Hot dish.
See, this is...
It's a hot dish.
He doesn't hear the difference.
Some things are a casserole, but some things are a hot dish. It's a fine line.
I don't know that there is one.
But if it has tater tots, it's a damn hot dish.
Tater tot casserole.
You keep that crap out of my house.
It's like I made something. It's like, ooh, tater tot hot dish. No, it's casserole. Smacks out my hand. Garbage. It's garbage.
Did I ever? There was the thing of like the most.
I fell into an Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like garbage. It's garbage.
I had it for a bit where he, like, I would tell him that he would have to call it by its name if he ever wanted to eat it, and I'd be like, you have to call it a hot dish, and he's like, man, that is one hot dish.
I found a loophole.
It's cheater. I want to see if I can find some pictures. The most Minnesota picture I've ever taken. Was it in the fall? I thought it was in the spring. Maybe it was August. No, that's a sandwich.
That's a picture of a sandwich.
No, it's supposed to be pie.
That's pie.
But I swore was it 2017? Maybe it was. Wait, nope. I would have. Did I pass it already? No, it would have been 2000. No, it couldn't have been 2018. Actually, no, it could have been 2018. Holy crap! The years go fast. Oh my god.
Don't think about it.
It has to be 2018
I
then.
think this year just feels like a complete wash, and that's why it feels like everything should at least have just been a year ago.
Actually, it could have been 2019 because I was doing that job for a year. Wow, I don't know. Time has been flying.
Time has been. I mean, when you don't go anywhere.
Well, and also like I worked the same job for about 10 years, and then in the last 4 years, I've changed jobs twice. Oh yeah, there's a board game called Not So Fast. It had to been that because it was in the spring. Because I took a picture of it at work. There's a lot of cat pictures. I didn't realize I took that many cat pictures. Come on, it was right before I quit. Oh, I'm not finding it now. But it was still snowy outside. Well, now that taking too long to do that. Whatever. But it was a slice of pie that was literally cut about that thin, full slice. Like it was hair thin, and it was the only one sitting in the pan. And I'm like, oh my god, that is the most passive aggressive consumption of pie I've ever seen. Like somebody had to try really hard to cut that straight up a line on that thin of a slice of pie. Is it Duck Duck Goose or Duck Duck Grey Duck? Do I need to show the map?
Yeah, well, let's get this straight. There's no such thing as a gray duck. First off, Duck Duck Goose.
Okay, so this is to show. This is a map that shows just how wrong
the rest of the world is.
The rest of the world is. That is a bad.
US.
There we go. That is a bad version too. Well, let's do this one. Okay, so this is showing, like the people that are right, and then everybody else it's wrong. It's Duck Duck Grey Duck. It's the game. Blue is a good color. Red is the color of evil. So these people are the ones that they are the children of the devil. Playing their goose games. Have you seen like the goose game? That goose is an asshole, and this is why we do Grey Duck. So, Grey Duck is superior.
No,
I didn't even know Duck Duck Goose was like even a possibility until I was like 20s.
Yeah,
like we were so secluded. It felt like we were like
our own little nation.
When the news is being all written by the government, like to control what the news is going out, they're like nobody can know Goose. What do you call public drinking fountains? They're called bubblers. I've heard bubblers before from some places. We're just a fountain.
I've never heard bubblers.
We just no, we'd call them a drinking fountain. I don't think we have any special name for them. But the thing is that if you have it, we can call it a public drinking fountain, but then you just give it another name, bubbler. Why don't we just call it drinking fountain?
Why would it be called a bubbler? Does it bubble?
It sounds like a very like UK word. We've lost most of America to the geese already. The Grey Ducks are staging a last stand in Minnesota. Yes. The tyranny of goose shall not stand. Greetings, Typhon. Too many words, too hard. I can guess on it. It's like German. German is actually the embodiment of not making, or they'll make a new word by just taking a bunch of words that define the thing and just mashing them together without spaces. Should be cool if we saw some Derpy and socks, maybe juice boxes. Actually, ever since I did that picture, Michael no longer has asked that of me because he knows that I'm not going to do it anymore. I framed it. Yeah, he actually he got a print of it, yes. And it is a upstairs. He's got a print of it on the wall.
Because it was a magical moment.
It was a super fun moment doing that. It was it went way better than I thought.
It's adorable.
I would never be able to do something like that again in that exact measure, because how do you do that again? So
yeah, horses kiss. You used to let horses kiss. Now it's like against the law. So much shipping. Those two should kiss.
Why?
That's a silly question.
It's like, they just kiss. Well, do they have any, like, do they share a connection? Mm-hmm. No. They're two mares and their mouths must touch. I don't care if they want to or not. You mush those things together.
Like, now kiss. Just forcing their heads.
Like, but they're like, but we're related. And they don't care.
Well, there's some backstory here, but we'll get into that later. After kisses.
I shall write the fanfic later. I was thinking about having her mouth closed. I'm thinking I might actually do this backwards. Let's try this direction.
Who here is up for the Celestia Trixie ship? Just me? Anyone?
Anytime I put any like, if there's more than one pony in a shot, and as long as two of them are female, it always comes down to
they should be kissing.
Like there was the one who was like, we're gonna do a rocket going through places, and he's like, maybe it should go through like a room and have like two ponies kissing behind a couch. Like, Michael,
I thought that was a good joke. It would have just been the couch in the castle, the rockets is by, and like Starlight pokes her head up, and then Trixie also pokes her head up.
If I ever followed your instructions for a video, I would be putting the tag fetish in everything I have on my YouTube.
Fetish, it's adorable.
It doesn't stop it from being fetish.
No, it's cute.
A fetish is like some kind of weird niche thing that I'm not going to describe more of, and you have a very defined.
You would see like two kittens cuddling and be like, fetish. It's not a fetish.
They're not cuddling. Or it's one thing if two people cuddle, but you're like, no moochie moochie.
Can we have the horses cuddle?
And you're gonna grab two cats and just be like,
maybe.
You would be so clawed to pieces. Say this is a place of pony. You should place them as a cake topper. Now, anything I place on here that's gonna be like, it's about overcomplicating the scene. If I were to put a cake topper on, then that would be a distraction from the things that I want people to see. I don't mind something's hiding in the background, but that would be very blatant and something to draw attention. And normally, if somebody's talking, you can hide things in the background. Like for instance, this one. When she's just talking, this shot right here, like there's actually like the Minecraft cow hiding back here, but it's because like what's going on and how it's blended in, you're not going to notice it very easily. So it's just a goofy little thing, and some people have commented that they've caught that.
Has anybody caught the Euro C?
That one is way too subtle. You would not notice that unless I said to go find it, you would never notice it. And when I was doing the stuff on YouTube before of try to find my OC, and I would say like, my OC is the one dead in the corner over here, and they're like, we would never catch that. I'm like, it's not the point of Where's Waldo. I'm not telling you to go out there and find it. The idea is now when you look at it, you know.
I want to release a book of Where's Waldo, but Waldo's been edited out.
There's somebody that did that.
That would be
they did
so
that for
evil.
I think they did that for Where's Waldo in a library, and then they did that. They edited it out on all the pages and then put it back in the librry.
That's the drive. Whoever got it.
But no, but you can't do that. Like the first one, you have to leave it in. So then people think that it should exist. Nothing feels off. I know, but the first one needs to be there. So they go, there he is, and then that creates this presumption that he's going to be in all the others, and then they never find him in any of the others.
I would want to release one of those magic eye picture books, just to be like, but it would have no hidden picture in it, just so I could see one person pick up the book and be like, oh yeah, I see it, and then I'd be like, no. Because there'd be that one person who would be like, yeah, I totally see it.
And thanks, Graves. Appreciate the compliment. Actually, thanks. I appreciate that. It's I mean, people leave a lot of comments on YouTube and stuff, but it's always fun when people come here and say that. It's it means a lot. It really does. What is the bucket of fudge? Did I come back? What in the bucket of fudge did I come back to? I don't even know from when you said that what you came back to. Oh, fetishes. I think there's fetishes. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
It's not fetish. It's adorable.
People defending their fetishes.
Stop this.
Is it healthy to foam at the mouth every time Ark releases a new video? I hope that's a good thing. We're getting another one done. It's I've been trying to please the algorithm by putting out other stuff, mainly just to get things out, because an animation will take like dozens and dozens of hours, but if I do like a highlighter or like the time lapse, those will take 10 to 12 hours. That sounds like a lot, but I put a lot of time into them. But then that gets something out in the meantime. It's 10 to 12 hours to get something out. I've been trying to do it every 2 weeks. And then I'll just spend the rest of the time working on stuff. Because before I would put out a new video and then like a third of the comments would be, hey, you're not dead. I'm trying not to be dead. So I'm trying to put out other stuff. They are nowhere near as popular as my normal animation stuff. And if anything, I do lose subscribers for putting those out. I checked my last, I think, 5 or 6 highlights or tutorials, and I have went negative on subscribers because of that. But it's just clearing out the fluff. So I'm hoping that it's providing entertainment and value for those that do want the stuff.
How do you like that, Waldo? Waldo, the truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Okay, the one thing I don't like right now,
Let's imagine what?
this camera is not moving at all right now.
Mm. But her head is?
Her head is moving, but her eye is not moving a pixel. That is creepy. But it's normally because your like your
eye might fix to it while your head moves.
your eye is, but your eyelids aren't. Your eyelids are constantly moving. When you go up and down, your eyelids are following your pupil. So when you go way up like this, your top eyelid's coming down more. When you look around like this, your bottom eyelids are coming up. Ponies are a little difficult to do that with. Normally, your eyes would never have white space, so you should be closing the eyes to cover up the white space to be within, because you're, again, limiting the amount of light and protecting your eye. And so that when you look up and look down, it should adjust to that. So in here, what it would normally be is your eyelids, or her eyelids, should be adjusting to maintain the same level of white on top and bottom. That's normally what I would need to do. Sounds like a lot of detail, but if you actually go and play with the TF2 models and you move their eye up and down, their eyes are actually built to do that automatically. But it's easier because, again, you have big fleshy things and these have giant eyeball heads. Stream highlights are hilarious. Well, thank you. I'm actually, the intent is to hopefully offload that work to do highlights and highlights, time lapses, that kind of stuff to an editor next year. And I'm working on figuring the details of that out. So, and then I can put more time into other stuff. So, or more time into the animation portions. I learn a lot during the editing, and so I don't mind it. But it does take time. And like I said, the time lapse took me about 12 hours. Because no, not 12 hours, about 10 hours, because it's when you're speeding up a video at 10 times speed, anything that was popping up for like a pop-up of something at a third of a second is now going to be 1 frame on a 60 frames per second thing. So that's a lot of flashing of menus. Or if I turn the camera and it ended up going through a wall for 1 frame, that's a flash of a wall really quick, and that's disorienting. I went through and edited the crap out of it to remove any flashing, to make it so that it was smooth and everything. I had to probably make well over 1,000 cuts on that video. So, and that's what took a while. I took 4 passes over it to make it that way. But I liked how it turned out. And each time I went through, I removed 2 minutes of flashing and stuff. Even then, I didn't remove all of it, and so I put the photosensitivity thing at the beginning. Actually, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep her eyes a little bit more closed at the beginning here. It's too fast. Still too much motion. And I still think that like her motion here is still a little bit much. I'll probably tone it back a little bit. but it's a base. And the fork here, that should be a pretty easy one. Already over time here, but I'm just gonna animate this for now. Right. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a little bit wider there. There we go. I would not put ketchup on. I mean, you can put ketchup on cake. Who knows? I think ketchup cake is a thing.
I think I know well enough not to.
But I wouldn't, just because I don't really like ketchup.
I mean, mustard on cake. Now there's an idea.
I like mustard more than ketchup, but I think that no
Mustard cake.
mustard.
You just use the mustard as the icing.
Custard cake. That's the same thing,
good.
right?
It's the same. They both sound this.
They're similar enough, right?
Yeah. They both got yellowish color. It's fine. Hot sauce, yes. That's a horse reference.
This is probably not going to maintain in the final. Small motions like this just do not work in SFM. And so I'm going to blend it a little bit, but as soon as I go to add some kind of motion over here, it's going to break again. So this is just going to be for creating some kind of a, what would you call this? Magic floating. And so normally it would just be take, oh, I got to do, so it's already shown that it is going to break when I do it. Like here. I think that does kind of work. Let's do is turn it down a little bit. Oops.
I don't think I put ketchup. I can't say the words. I don't think I put ketchup on anything in years. Not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not a ketchup fan. I've gotten to like it a little bit more as I've gotten older, but it really depends on what it is. But if I don't mind if ketchup is in some things, but if you're putting on enough to where ketchup is the primary flavor that you're getting out of something, you're putting on so much ketchup on a fry that you can't even taste the French fry, then just freaking grab a straw.
I normally just eat like fries plain anyways.
Depending on the fry. McDonald's fries are ones that I actually will have ketchup with, but like Wendy's fries I like on their own. Burger King's fries I actually do prefer with something. Arby's fries with ketchup would be really weird. Like curly fries. I like those with the
potato.
But the curly fries, you do those with like the 3 pepper sauce or the horsey sauce.
Horsey sauce.
Never had horsey sauce?
No, I have. It's just horsey sauce. Horse.
All right, so then
It's made out of real horses.
I don't want to do. Oh, so this would be essentially just some floating stuff, just to have on there. But I'm not gonna worry about that for now.
You know, if I would
Anyway,
consider something on
ketchup is amazing. I think ketchup has a place. It's not my thing. If I'm gonna dip anything, I like mustard. I think mustard tastes.
like mustard.
But if you're going cheap condiment, I like mustard. There are definitely other things I'd rather dip. But if you're looking at the ones that you'll normally find on like a restaurant table of ketchup and mustard, I will grab the mustard over ketchup. I like the tanginess of it. It's just my thing. Mustard gang, let's go. Yeah, Jacobs. We're gonna rule the government and take it over with mustard. I see that you are cultured. Both is good. Yes. They both have their place, like I said. The only condiment I use is salt. Really, actually, that is a valid bit. If you cook something right and correct and good, little salt and pepper is really all you need for some stuff. And usually those aren't really masking flavor. Salt's purpose is to enhance the flavor. It usually makes things just taste better by enhancing the flavor that's there. And salt's necessary for the diet. As long as you're not going overboard with it. Like, yeah, whatever. Let's have a tour. We have Mike on the stream and Argo's animating his YouTube videos. Sure. I like to dunk my paninis in ketchup. Yeah, I don't know about that. A good panini usually is flavorful enough that you need nothing. My mom, the way she makes them are really sweet and they're really good on their own.
When I was a kid, I used to put ketchup on pizza.
Wendy's fries dipped in a Frosty. I do like fries dipped in shakes and Frosties, but I feel like at the same time, I like both on their own. And by doing that, I am changing two different unique experiences for just a single experience. So I'd usually just like to have them separate. I like having a fry and then the shake separate so that you get a bunch of salty and then you get a bunch of sweet. I do like going back and forth, but putting them both in the exact same bite, not really what I do. Honey mustard is bomb. Yeah, that can be good too. I like the normal mustard. I'd rather get that dark mustard. Like, you can see the seeds. Oh, the Dijon mustard.
The spicy brown mustard.
I know the one you're talking about. No, that is pretty good too, but that depends. I don't usually like. But I'm talking again. It's like when you're at a table and if you have a container like this of ketchup on the table, more than likely you're going to have an equivalent yellow one, and that's it. Like, if they're going to be using those kind of containers, it's because there's probably the only two that are in the selection.
I haven't even seen this kind of containers in a very long time.
I haven't either, but they're classic.
Yeah. It used to be everywhere.
I'm going to get one, and then I'm going to put mustard in the ketchup.
It's going to blow people's minds.
That is the most evil thing you can do. And there's somebody with that would just goes and dip. And I am not the kind of person too, like when people like have a bunch of fries and then they go and put the ketchup all on top of the fries. No, put it to the side. You dip. You dip. Why would you cover it? Because then you're going to get an uneven placement. What if you pull a fry and there's not enough ketchup? Then you're going to be using that fry to go and grab the ketchup from the other fries. But then you're just dipping it. What are you doing?
He's going to be okay, Stream. It's okay.
I do have problems with that. Unless you don't have the ability to like have any spot to dip it, but then you shove your fries to the side and then you
just imagining you see somebody do that and just this little, like, fuse burns out in your head.
Yeah, some French fries can be a bit bland. They're like
potato.
Yeah, I'll agree. Like Five Guys fries have a lot. They're very they have a lot of flavor to themselves. That's why like McDonald's fries are ones that I usually will have some ketchup with. If they're very thick in potato, sure, but like McDonald's fries are very hollow, so there's a lot more of a grease flavor. The ketchup it works well with it. I'll still eat them without. But it just depends. It's all personal preference too. Some people prefer something a little sweeter, or some people prefer tangier, and that's where the ketchup mustard comes in. If you really want it good though, is that if you do take ketchup and you mix some mayonnaise in there. And then you mix that up. That's good. That is really good.
Don't listen to him.
And that sounds like as I'm like eating my fifth hot pocket, and I'm just like, really, you could take the ketchup, you mix the mayonnaise in there, and then you dip your Dorito in it. That actually hurt. Yes. The special sauce. I don't know if I'd call it that. Has anybody seen Mr. Show? It's an old show from like the 90s. They had, and I can't play it because it'd be copyright for sure, but look up Mr. Show mustard mayonnaise. And there's a whole commercial. I think there's 3 different commercials they did on their one show for a mixture of mustard and mayonnaise all put into one jar. And they are some funny commercials. They're classics. So if you can ever look it up, Mr. Show mustard mayonnaise. Don't ask me how to spell that because I have no idea. I think it's just mustard and then mayonnaise. Mixing yellow. Mega mustard. that sounds like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs like villain.
Colonel Mustard's like final form.
Colonel.
The game of Clue just gets like, it was Colonel Mustard.
We've entered phase 2 of Clue.
It's like, it was Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the ballroom. It's like, you'll never take me alive. And he transforms. I am Mega Mustard. It's like clues are intense these days.
You may be strong, Mega Mustard, but you shall not. You shall be stopped by a Power Plum. God damn it!
Oh, this is gonna be Clue in the year 2030. They're gonna hype it up.
All right, well, we're gonna be good on that. I work tomorrow, and it's already been a very long weekend, so I'm gonna be good for tonight. And also, I don't want to run too late because again, Europe. This is already like 3 a.m. for them. So, but Mega Maker's only weakness: a high quality soji. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. But no, I was only expecting like 8-9 people on here because I didn't really advertise. So the fact that I still had like 20-some people come up is really cool. That is actually, I am very surprised. It might be because it's weekend and Sunday too. But the main actually thing out of this was I've never really wanted to do impromptu streams because I feel like it can be like people that really want to be here for things might feel like, oh, this is I really want to be there, but it wasn't scheduled, so I didn't know it was going to happen. But there's still, so then there wouldn't be near as many people or some people I saw. But since there was a lot of people here, I might do that more often. There's a couple of gaming streams we want to do. We are planning to, at the beginning of next year, we're going to start a Fallout 76 stream. That we haven't quite. We're waiting for the holidays to pass because originally he was going to be traveling to his parents. That's not happening now. We have another person that's out for a couple weeks. So, but we are planning to do that, and that will be whenever things get back to normal from the holidays, and we're still working on the details of that. But I think that should be pretty fun. But nonetheless, anyways, thank you. I'll be back. Still going back to normal on Tuesday. Don't worry about that. The more streams, the better. Well, thank you. They are exhausting because normally if I do it Tuesday and Friday, that is basically most of my evening. And so it's 2 nights a week that I lose basically any time to do much. So, there's something else I was going to say with that. Oh, so I'm going to be streaming Tuesday. Friday is Christmas. But because of COVID stuff, I'm actually doing stuff with my family on Thursday morning. So I probably won't be doing actually much on Friday. So as of right now, I still will be streaming probably on Christmas. I don't think we'll be doing SFM. I might see something about doing something else. For those that are just because of COVID are not able to go out with family, come here, we can do something or something. And we're also probably going to do a New Year's stream doing Jackbox right now because that's what we normally do, and that's a little difficult right now having people come over to my place to do it, so we're probably just going to do it all online. Still working on the details for that too. What is the Xmas thing that I celebrated in my life? It's just it's a marketing holiday to a degree now, but anyways, it's just Christmas. It's an American thing. But we will be, so yeah, more details on that later. But anyways, good night. Yes, chicken is here. Oh, he was kind of had this like sideline look at me like this before. There he goes. Okay. Anyways, have a good one. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a kitty. And I haven't heard the Michael song for so long. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.